Yo, what's going on, guys? Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Thanks for coming back to the channel. As always, I really do appreciate you checking out the content. If you guys are new, definitely feel free to subscribe if you like what you've seen on the channel thus far, and hit that bell icon so I can keep you guys as updated as possible on all of the Miami Dolphins breaking news, game recaps, analysis, all that good stuff. And as always, guys, I really do appreciate you stopping by to check out another video. So today was running around. It's Tuesday. I work later. Didn't have a ton going on, but I was running some errands, and I got back home to some reports that came out about an hour ago that Davon Godchaux could potentially be out for the rest of the season. This definitely hurts. It's not a good injury. It's really not good to see any player injured, obviously, but Davon Godchaux has been, kind of like the gel on that defensive line. He's been a very he's like the stability of that defensive line, in my opinion. He really eats up the inside of the defensive line. He's very good against the run. He's always doing his job, and I like Davon Godchaux. I've been a fan of him since day one. When we drafted him, I loved him, and I think that he has proven that he can be a reliable and consistent defensive lineman for any NFL team, but thus far he's been that for the Dolphins. So a couple of things. Number one, the injury. He tore his bicep against San Francisco on Sunday a couple of days ago. And, when he tore his bicep, it was just kind of an injury on the field that was like, all right, well, I don't know how big this could be or whatever. Nothing, it didn't look like it could be anything ridiculously serious or anything. But once he was able to get a couple of opinions from doctors and team doctors and all that stuff, he did get multiple opinions. All of them said he did have a bicep tear, and all of them said it's going to be about 3 months for recovery, which kind of places us, in that January-ish range. And around that time is going to be either the very tail end of the season or the playoffs if we make it, which I don't expect that we will make the playoffs this year. So what is that going to mean, A, for the Dolphins, and then B, for Davon Godchaux? Number one, for the Dolphins, like I said, guys, I really do believe that Davon Godchaux is a big part of that defensive line, eating up the inside, taking a couple of blocks. He just does his job consistently on a regular basis and makes everybody's job easier around him on that defensive line. He's very good in run defense. I just like him. He's a big body guy, and he does his job. And I think that he just fits in well with this team. He's got the right attitude. He's a fun guy to watch. So for the Dolphins, a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, obviously they lose him for the season. Could be the entire season. He could come back really, really late, which I really wouldn't expect to see. But they're going to lose him. And then number two, some other guys are going to have to start taking regular snaps that weren't already doing so. Number one, that's going to be Raekwon Davis. We did draft him this last year out of Alabama. He is similar to Davon Godchaux in a lot of ways. He's a big, bulky guy. He's primarily a run defender. He's got to eat up the inside of that defensive line. He's really just he's just a nose tackle. That's what he is, and that's what Davon Godchaux is. They're both nose tackle prototype kind of guys. So I see a lot more snaps coming up for Raekwon Davis. But then also I could see a scenario where someone like Zach Seiler is going to fill in a lot on that interior defensive line just to kind of make up the snaps that we're going to be missing out on with Davon Godchaux. So, it's kind of twofold. Obviously, guys, we don't want to lose anybody to injury on the team. And the last thing that we want to see is our defense get depleted with injury like we've seen a lot of other teams, have happened to them this season. So you don't want to see that. But and I don't really want to say this because it might come out wrong, but there is silver lining. I'm going to say it that way. There is a silver lining in that we're going to get some more snaps out of our rookies, out of some guys who do have that potential to step in and make an impact. So it could be beneficial to them to get the extra snaps, to get the extra experience, to play more in game and really kind of get their chemistry, get the flow going of how to really play in the NFL. So I would expect to see a lot more snaps from guys like Raekwon Davis and Zach Seiler. And then unfortunately, we will probably be losing Davon Godchaux for the rest of the season. Like I said, the time frame is about January, mid-January, somewhere right around there. So it really kind of depends on whether we're looking like we're making a playoff push or not. And that also depends on the whole team. So if we're looking like the playoffs is in the picture and we could maybe make a push for the wild card, especially adding more teams this year, maybe that's the scenario. And then maybe in that situation, we do see Davon Godchaux later in the year. But if we are not going to make the playoffs, if this is something that we are kind of out of the picture by January, I would not expect to see Godchaux come back, even if he's healthy by the end of the season, by a week, 15, 16, 17. I would expect that they probably don't put him back out there, especially if we're seeing some production from Raekwon Davis and, Zach Seiler or other guys, whoever wants to fill in or whoever the coaching staff puts in to fill in those snaps. I would expect that if we're seeing good things out of those guys, we're going to keep them on the field, let them move in the right direction. At that point, they would have played the entire season pretty much with that defensive line unit. So I don't think they would want to break up the chemistry or break up the way that they play together. I think that they would probably be able to safely sit Davon Godchaux for the rest of the season, especially if we're not looking like the playoffs are in the picture. And you don't want to risk throwing a guy in there at the end of the season, no playoffs, just coming off of an injury, with the potential of, there's a risk of re-injury. So I would expect to not see Davon Godchaux for the rest of the season, depending upon the playoffs for Miami and depending on where we're looking in January. Now, number two, and this is probably an even bigger point to Davon Godchaux's injury, he is at the tail end of his rookie contract. He is on his last year and is due for free agency. We have the option to extend him. We have the option to let him walk. And so to me, there's a lot of questions about what we're going to do with Davon Godchaux. Did we draft guys like Raekwon Davis so that we can kind of fill in and just kind of take his place, fill his shoes and next man up? And then Davon Godchaux, thank you for your time in Miami and, good luck in the future. I don't really know. Obviously I'm not the GM or the coach and neither are you guys. So they're going to know their intention and their purpose behind drafting interior defensive linemen like that. I think that we have a pretty good unit. And if we were to want to stick to Davon Godchaux long-term and there was an expectance of, a contract extension long-term, we probably wouldn't have gone out of our way to draft more than one guy who could fill in on that interior defensive line. That's just my personal opinion. I think we could pick, random guys up in free agency, but to spend a draft pick on somebody like Raekwon Davis, who was a relatively bigger name on the defensive line coming out of college, I think that that's kind of an indicator that we are looking to potentially move forward from Davon Godchaux in the future. So I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions down below. Do you see a scenario where Davon Godchaux is going to come back this season? And regardless of that, do you think that we are going to be looking at extending his contract? Or will he kind of just walk in free agency and go elsewhere? What do you guys wish that we would do? And what do you guys expect that the Dolphins will do in spite or, in agreement with what you guys believe? So my personal opinion, I think that we're not going to see Davon Godchaux for the rest of the season. And unfortunately, I really, really hope I'm wrong because I love Davon Godchaux. I think and I would expect that at the end of the season, we're probably going to see him move on to another team in the offseason. So like I said, guys, leave all your thoughts, leave your opinions, all that good stuff down below. And as I said earlier, please, guys, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to the channel. We are growing every day. The numbers are going up and we're bumping 1,000. So we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. That is crazy to say because I've only been doing the channel since February. So in the matter of, eight months, we've jumped up to almost 1,000 subs. So guys, if you haven't, subscribe, share it with your friends, like and comment, do all that good stuff. And like I said, hit the bell icon so you can get notifications with all the updates, just like this one, opinions, analysis, game reviews, all that good stuff. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Unfortunately, it was not on the best terms. It was kind of, with more of a solemn, yeah, I can't talk today. More of like a solemn note and something that's a little bit more disappointing, but hopefully, guys, the Dolphins unit, the defensive line, and the team can continue to move forward and put on a show for the rest of the season, just like we did on Sunday. And as always, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. Be sure to leave your comments, your thoughts, all that good stuff down below, and I will catch you very soon next time. Appreciate you guys, and as always, fins up.